Hi friends, I just moved back to Pennsylvania. Moving can be a really busy and stressful time between packing, unpacking, getting used to a new home, and updating my address on what feels like a million different forms. I had to update my address with some private businesses as well as at the post office, the library, the DMV, and on my voter registration. All of this stress had me thinking, what if there is a better way to go through this process? What if there's a better way to update your voter registration, a system that makes it easier to be involved in our democracy and streamlines the way people register to vote, a thing that lots of people don't bother to do. A new system that shifted responsibility of registering people onto the already existing governmental systems instead of onto the individual. And I remembered that automatic voter registration is a thing that already exists in some places, including parts of the United States. Programs differ from state to state, but automatic voter registration basically means that eligible citizens are automatically registered to vote when they get their driver's license, register a vehicle, or interact with other government services that already collect all of the information that is necessary to register a voter. The goal is to create a system of democracy that is opt-out instead of opt-in. Now, this doesn't make voting compulsory or even registering to vote mandatory, since you can still opt out and decline to register. But it does encourage participation in our government and makes it a little bit easier to be involved in the process. This would be great because a lot of people already have to visit the DMV and government agencies, and these agencies already collect your personal information when you visit. If you live somewhere with automatic voter registration, all that happens is that these agencies will transfer the information that you gave them, including any updated information, to the voter roll. It is totally possible that you may already live in a state with automatic voter registration and haven't noticed it yet. That's because this system has been implemented or has been approved in 16 states and DC, but the first state to actually implement automatic voter registration in the United States was in Oregon in 2016. This policy is getting adopted so quickly by so many states because there are just so many benefits to this program. One thing, it achieves the goal of keeping the voter rolls up to date. People move, they change their names, and they might even be interested in changing their party affiliation. When that happens, they have to change their voter registration. And for the first two things, you need to update your license too. So you may as well take care of both errands at the same time. Automatic voter registration also acts to expand the electorate. It was documented that voter registration rose between 9 and 94% due to automatic voter registration. If those numbers sound extreme to you, that's because they are extremes. In Washington, D.C., where a lot of citizens have work that is directly tied in some way to the government, automatic voter registration resulted in a 9.4% increase in voter registration. Whereas in Georgia, which has a history of voter suppression, automatic voter registration resulted in a 93.7% increase in voter registration. These extremes show how the policy helps people in all different kinds of community access and participate within the system, building a more just and democratic system. According to Governor Kate Brown of Oregon, the benefit in automatic voter registration was how it helped reach minorities, low-income, and rural citizens and helped them gain access to their right to vote. Plus, according to research conducted by the Center for American Progress, automatic voter registration helped younger people get involved in the system too. For example, in Oregon, 390,000 people were added to the voter rolls after the program was first implemented. Of those 390,000 people, over half were under the age of 40. This is an incredibly cost-effective way to expand the electorate and register voters. Additional voter registration drives are expensive, but since government agencies already collect enough information on most people to register them vote when we interact with them, making the agencies forward the information they've collected to the voter rolls is a more efficient system. There is some opposition to automatic voter registration though. Some have argued that it could benefit a political party, but registering someone to vote does not ultimately change how they will vote. It doesn't even guarantee that people will vote, since there are lots of people who are registered to vote and who just choose not to vote in every election. Plus, if fewer people being able to vote is beneficial to a political party, that party should really be much more worried about how fundamentally undemocratic it is and how it is failing to provide so many people with a reason to vote for them. Some have also expressed concerns that automatic voter registration could lead to ineligible voters being registered by mistake, which, to be fair, is something that recently happened. In Illinois, 574 people were registered to vote even though the individuals indicated that they were not citizens. It was discovered that of this group, 7 people cast ballots in the 2019 election. That's about 1% of the people who were mistakenly registered to vote by the new system. It's important to recognize that mistakes happen in every system and that a lot of people who were registered to vote because of this mistake didn't vote, and they also didn't realize that they were registered to vote. Illinois has taken steps to fix their system to ensure this does not happen again in the future and people aren't registered to vote by mistake. Since automatic voter registration would be a shift in our democracy and election system, we should treat this like a learning opportunity to figure out how to build this system in a way that is safe, functional, and protects our democracy. And to be perfectly honest, I'm way more concerned about the 51 million US citizens who aren't registered to vote despite being eligible than I am about the 574 people who are registered to vote because of a flaw in a new system. 24% of the voting eligible population being unregistered to vote is a much bigger flaw in our current system. I really believe that automatic voter registration is better for our country. It is better for our democracy because it helps give more people the option to participate. It reaches people that might not have the opportunity to get involved as it is right now. And we should fight for a world where everyone is involved in the decisions that will affect them. Given that our government already collects information on its citizens, I don't see why we couldn't use that information to keep our voter rolls up to date. And, most importantly, it would make my life slightly easier. And I would like that. In the Chamber of Secrets, there will be a way to check if your voter registration is up to date, and my sources for this video if you are interested in learning more about automatic voter registration. If you want automatic voter registration to exist where you live, contact your legislators, especially your state legislators, because they have the power to drastically change your community and often don't get as much feedback as to how they can best represent your community. Plus, they're the ones in charge of your state's voting system. That's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you want to see more from me, you can subscribe, watch another video of mine, or support me on Patreon. And hey, I love you.